So today I wanted to go over my picks for the top 5 best perma unlocks that you can do for zombies. And now I know that you have 10 perma unlock tokens technically, with 10 prestiges and all that, but also at the same time when you get to the 10th prestige, you kind of already have everything unlocked that you would need at that point, whether it's from blueprints along the way or blueprints from the events and the battle pass and things of that nature. And speaking of that, for those reasons, I kind of chose not to put any weapons on this list. There is one weapon on this list, however, but even that one weapon is a weapon that has blueprints that have come from the battle pass or recent events, so it's just perma unlocked. And I know not everybody has the battle pass, not everybody has the events done, or whatever the case may be, but as time goes on, we get more and more free blueprints that everybody gets, and weapons become less and less about perma unlocking. And also, you know, once you get high enough in the prestiges and all that, they also kind of stop mattering. Anyways, enough about that. So I'm going to go from the lowest level to the highest level unlocks in here. So it's not necessarily in order of importance, if you will, but in an order of how long it takes to unlock these items in zombies. However, I will say that your perma unlocks from Black Ops 6 do carry over. So if you're like me and you had Aether Shroud perma unlocked in Black Ops 6, it will be perma unlocked in Black Ops 7. So, again, this list is kind of hard to make because of that, in all honesty. But regardless, we'll get into this. First of all, starting off at the first option, probably one of the later picks, though, so we'll put it at 5. I would put Fireworks. Now, Fireworks is unlocked at level 18, so it's not necessarily something that's really far along the track, but it is probably... And I would say wholeheartedly it is the most powerful ammo mod in the game currently. So I would say just having Fireworks always available is really, really nice. Again, I could say Brain Rot or Fire because they're both very later unlocks, especially Brain Rot. But if you perma unlock those in Black Ops 6, then you have them perma unlocked in Black Ops 7. So I'm just going to say Fireworks at number 5 for your perma unlock usage of tokens. You also have a perma unlock token if you pre-ordered, by the way. I don't know if it's the Deluxe Edition or not, but you have a pre-order token for perma unlocking. So that said, let's move on here, right? I would say Casimirs are another amazing option to perma unlock, as they are the best tactical in the game, so much so that they're basically lethal. But Casimirs unlock at level 47, so they're always great to have available to you. And I'd always suggest, if you have the spare salvage, always just make a Casimir and then just always have a Casimir on you. And it's also great with mule kick augments, allowing you to have 3 Casimirs. So if you have, 4 people, you have 12 Casimirs that you can rotate between. It's really, really powerful. Now, continuing down the list here, I know Aether Shroud I mentioned earlier being something that I personally have perma unlocked left over from Black Ops 6, so maybe you're in the same boat, but if you aren't, I suggest Aether Shroud, as it is the best field upgrade, and field upgrades, quite honestly, are kind of useless outside of boss fights, and even then, they're kind of for panic situations. This game doesn't have enough deep enough RPG elements really to warrant a lot of the damage stacking or damage buff swaps that are possible or potentially possible. Although I would love for them to expand on all that. But, that's for a different video, I suppose. But regardless, Aether Shroud is definitely the best field upgrade. So I would suggest perma unlocking it, as it unlocks at level 48. Now, next up, we have the only weapon on this list. Again, we get a lot of blueprints as the year goes on. So weapons are kind of hard to suggest perma unlocks, because even in prestiges, you unlock variants of the weapons, which then perma unlock the weapons. Same with battle pass, same with random free events. So unfortunately, it's kind of hard for me to suggest weapons a lot of the time, but for this weapon suggestion, it's the Nova Line. Nova Line is without a doubt the best weapon currently in zombies, and it unlocks at level 49. So one level above Aether Shroud. Now, again, really hard to suggest weapons, as a lot of them will just be perma unlocked for you over time. But without a doubt, Novaline is the best weapon in zombies right now, so I highly recommend you perma unlock that if you don't want to wall buy it. But even then, if you are wall buying it, it's best to always have your zombie build available, meaning that you always have the best attachments on it. Now moving on to the first one, and it's really just because of how high it is in the level ranking here. It's going to be the Combat Axe. It unlocks at level 54. So why the Combat Axe, you might be asking yourself? Well, simply put, it's the best lethal in the game. It just is. And it's always nice to have on you. So if you don't have ammo, but you need points, or the case may be, and you don't have melee leveled up and all that melee macchiato, then your Combat Axe is your best friend. Plus, it is used a bit here and there in quest steps. Same with the Casimir, but not as much as the Combat Axe tends to be. Now, again, I know a lot of people aren't going to really agree with this listing, and people will probably say things like, why aren't there more weapons on this? But again, as I've said like 4 times in this video, but people oftentimes don't actually hear what people say, weapons are kind of a difficult thing to judge when it comes to perma unlocking, simply because whether you're going through the prestiges, you're doing the battle pass, you're doing the events, you're getting weapon variants for these weapons, which then just automatically makes them perma unlock. So it's really, really hard for me to tell somebody to perma unlock X weapon when there's 3 free blueprints that you can have at this point. So it's kind of difficult to suggest that. And in addition to that, when it comes to things like score streaks, unfortunately, not a lot of the score streaks currently are that great. I'd say the hand cannon's about the best one. However, the death machine is returning with Season 1 Reloaded, or whatever they're called in here. Honestly, I can't keep track of all the mid-season terms anymore. But regardless, the death machine is returning alongside other score streaks, which means as a returning score streak, this is already just going to be perpetually unlocked for you, so you don't even have to worry about perma unlocking it. It'll just already be unlocked for you, and it's going to be the best score streak for damaging bosses and things of that nature, as it was in Black Ops 6. So again, a lot of this is a bit difficult to suggest properly, because a lot of the best util is about to become permanently unlocked and just free already to begin with. And going back to weapons here, DLC weapons, so weapons that come out in events or battle passes or things of that nature, once you get them unlocked, they're already perma unlocked. The ballistic knives, for example, they're permanently unlocked once you unlock them without needing a variant or anything like that. Same with the crossbow, even though the crossbow is kind of a weird weapon to bring in. Either you're going to be sitting in a corner AFKing with it, or you're using it to melt bosses. But the point is that all these weapons, the Mad Docs, the Kogot, the Ballista when it comes back, and the new SMG that we're getting, these all will be permanent unlocked when you level up, whatever the event or whatever the case may be, and you get them unlocked. They'll become permanently unlocked. So it's just something that I don't think I can properly gauge and suggest doing, because there's no real reason to. And again, most of these DLC weapons, quite honestly, not all of them are that great for zombies. I'd say the crossbow is probably the best one right now. Speaking of the DLC weapons, the SoCal. Apparently what's wrong with that is that it has its multiplayer damage numbers in zombies. So if that gets fixed, it might not be too bad, but it still probably won't be great, in all honesty. Regardless, though, I hope that you guys understand where I'm coming from with a lot of this listing here. And I know that people won't actually understand what I'm saying with a lot of this, as it is evident in a lot of my comment sections and other people's comment sections that people either don't listen, don't watch the video, and just take it at surface value, and then they blab on. It's whatever, though. It's great for the algorithm. That being said, though, I hope that the people that actually did listen and understood my reasoning for not including so many weapons, or really any weapons, as a matter of fact, found this video useful. and I hope that it helps you on your zombies journey. Quite frankly, zombies is not that difficult. I think a lot of the problems with gaming is people make things a lot more complicated than they need to be. Like if you're running the hardest difficulty of a campaign, don't go slow and steady. Just go fast and hit hard, right? That's the best way to do it. Less chance of error. Anyways, thank you again so much for watching. I love y'all. Stay hydrated, and I will see you again tomorrow with another video. But it won't be zombies. So, yeah. See you then. Love y'all. Bye. Mwah.
I get the shivers whenever I'm thinking about you.